A high tunnel, sometimes called a hoop house, is basically an inexpensive greenhouse structure in which we grow crops directly in the ground. There's lots of different shapes and sizes, ways that they're managed, either 3-season or 4-season for high tunnels. So there's a variety of options that growers can utilize to help protect their crops and get some season extension and help bring crops. Two different types of high tunnels include Quonset or hoop style high tunnels or Gothic style high tunnels. Typically the Gothic style high tunnels are stronger and hold better against snow loads, but may be more expensive than the hoops.
What happens when you get a very wet growing season in 1992 combined with record-breaking rains in 1993? Well, the answer to that question is diseases, and more diseases showing up in the landscape. According to Jeanette Jacobs, our plant disease diagnostician here at OSU, she tells us that disease is really coming in, and there's a high rate of disease showing up in landscape because of all of these wet conditions. Now remember, before disease can ever occur, it has to have 3 or 4 conditions that are just appropriate before they'll ever show up. And first of all, you have to have the pathogen present, and that's pretty much a common in many cases. You also have to have the right growing conditions, and that may be moisture, certain temperatures. You obviously have to have the host or the plant, and in many cases you have to have a certain number of days or time for the disease to show up. Well, we've had a lot of appropriate growing conditions. We've got the host and the pathogen and the time, and we are seeing all kinds of leaf spot.
This is an example that we're going to show you how buckthorn, common buckthorn, can impact these natural areas. Common buckthorn has been released and been available for well over 50 years in the Midwestern United States, and really, I think, as no one will object, can have an impact to these natural areas.
And I've got several different examples to show you here, and most of them are referred to in a common name as a leaf spot.
Keep in mind that there's different pathogens that are causing these symptoms, and let me show you some of the ones that are showing up and quite common. First of all, on irises, we see what is called an iris leaf spot. The symptoms are spots that you'll notice like this that kind of look like they have an eye in the center of them. It's a darker reddish color with kind of a grayish speck right in the center. Again, it looks more like an eye.
My name is Hans Langeveld from Longfield Gardens, and I'm going to show you here how to plant elephant ears. Originally there was only colocasia elephant ears, or the regular elephant ears, that have leaves that face downwards and they resemble the shape of an elephant ear. And that's where they get the name from. Now the difference is that the regular elephant ears, they go dormant during the winter. They're the colocasias. And then the upright elephant ears, the alocasias, they can stay green. If you take the plant inside and plant it in a container, it will stay green throughout the winter, and you can treat it as a house plant. On top of that, the upright elephant ear has nice and shiny leaves that face straight upward, and that's why they call the upward elephant ear. So the first step in planting elephant ears is to dig a hole deep enough so the entire bulb can be planted in it, and it is about 1 inch deep. Nicely get down to the water.
Where we're at right now is the University of Wisconsin Arboretum, where they manage buckthorn, and we're kind of on the edge of where they manage and do not manage buckthorn infestations in a hardwood. As you'll see over here, this is just on the leading edge. Just locally right here, we see a wide range of saplings of maples actively growing, some healthy litter that those saplings require to actually establish, and in other areas we do see a wide range of diversity of other plants.
There's also 3-season tunnels, and 3-season tunnels we would actually take the plastic off of them during the winter time. Unfortunately, in a 3-season tunnel, you can't grow winter crops. So many of our growers utilize 4-season high tunnels where the plastic is on them all throughout the winter, and we can grow cool season crops typically throughout the entire course of the winter.
Look at diseases on both sides of the leaves in many cases, because it may look a little bit different on each side depending on what disease it is, but dark red with a yellow halo. Yucca is one that we don't see a lot of problems on, although this year we have also Cercospora leaf spot showing up on the yucca. It's almost a purplish dark color with a lighter center. And if you think about it, once these spots continue to grow together, you can lose an entire leaf or foliage depending on what type of plant. Here's one on oak called oak leaf blister, and it's not uncommon for us to see galls on oak trees that cause certain growths, but this is actually caused from a fungus called Tephrina, and it's called oak leaf blister because on the underneath side of the leaves it's actually swollen a little bit to give it a blistering effect, and then it has a lighter margin around those particular circles. And you can see that lighter color on this side, but it's actually smoother, and that's why checking it on each side. Again, a disease versus an insect. On elm, we have one showing up that's called elm black spot. You can also get other leaf spots on elm, but this particular one, the spots are very small and they're black in color. Again, you can see them on each side of the leaf. Once they continue to grow, the same problem, the leaves will start to drop off. And one that's very common on sycamores, but also on some maples, is called anthracnose. Again, a fungus disease, normally starting along the veins, and it causes it to die out like this or become necrotic. But in many cases it will have a scorched appearance because as it spreads along the vein, it will go to the margins and cause the entire leaf to deform and drop off. Another different type of leaf spot on maples is called phylosticta. If you look underneath, you don't see it as much. It's more water-soaked appearance, but the top, it shows up a little bit more with these water-soaked lesions. As they continue to mature, it will turn necrotic. You'll see spots and it'll drop out.
Since the late 80s, but yet since the hydroponic industry is so wildly unregulated, these are currently some of the most common products. Phosphoload, Bushmaster, Gravity, Top Load, Flower Dragon. These are a few various names, and these chemicals, just recently in May 2011, for the second time in the last few years, the California Department of Agriculture has issued a cease and desist in the selling of these chemicals. This chemical actually breaks down into a secondary metabolite, which is in fact even more toxic.
Calyx and corolla together called as perianth. The first whorl calyx and second whorl corolla, perianth, are non-essential organs of the flower. Androecium and gynoecium are essential organs of the flower. They involve in reproduction, structure of a flower. Anterior side, the bracts side of the flower. Posterior side, the mother axis side of the flower.